Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our August Hot Stock panel. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always my pleasure to be here at these Hot Stock panels. Folks, these are very informative and they're a lot of fun, and I've got a good group of people here with me, of which I'll get to in a second. For those of you who may be brand new to this stream, welcome. Welcome to the stream, and all my regular people out there, VV Nation, stand up. Let everybody know you're here. What is VectorVest? VectorVest is a stock analysis and portfolio management system. What we do is we give you some insight as to how to find some stocks to get into. We time the market, and by timing the market, we talk about staying on the right side of the trend of the market to keep our subscribers there, so you're never blindsided about any activity in the market. We will help you to put together a trading plan of knowing when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. Because folks, as investors in the market, those are the three most important things. You follow those guidelines, you will make money in the market. I never said that it was simple, but we can take a lot of the workload off of your shoulders to help you put in place a plan to help you to make money in the market. Coming back to me, once again, my name is Glenn Tompkins. I've been with VectorVest now for over 16 years. I've got my hands in a lot of different things within the education department. I'm the host of these panels. I also do a live YouTube stream every Thursday called Trending Thursday, where we look at stocks making the news and we analyze them with this powerful tool known as VectorVest. If you are not a subscriber to the software, Joey will put a link in the chat for you that you can take advantage of today. By the way, in the background is Joey. He is our producer. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
There you go. He's the guy that makes us all look good on the screen. Probably works a lot more for Steve and for Jim than for me. I don't require that much work. All right, so with that being said, our hot stock panel guests today will be Steve Chappell, sitting to my left. He is the Director of Systems Trading Development.
Trading Systems Development.
All right, something like that. And Steve, huh?
I said you're getting closer.
I am getting closer. He does a lot of stuff in the background that you guys may not always see until it comes to fruition. But he's got a lot of great input. He's one of my mentors as well. In the background, we have Jim Penna.
I'm in the background.
He's in the background. He is our manager of retirement services. So
lurking.
you're going to get a good mixture of ideas based on the things that we do. I also do Training Tuesdays, which walks you through how to effectively use the software in every tab in the software. Recently just did the special presentation. So we all work very hard for you guys to help you make money in the market. So keeping that in mind, if you are new and you like what you see here, please support the channel. All right, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Still looking at the videos, I've got more people who are non-subscribers to the channel watching the channel than subscribers. Folks, don't be afraid. If you like the content, support the channel, make sure you look below this video, you subscribe to the channel. If you like what you see to here as well, hit the like button. Let us know what you feel about it. I'd like to see a lot of likes if we can make that happen today. And of course, comment. All right, in regards to commenting, we will have a giveaway of a mug today. All right, so this is where the chat's gonna come in. If you want to be a part of the giveaway for a free VectorVest mug, we don't have one out here, do we? No. Anyway, if you wanna, I'm surprised you didn't get one, but you showing everybody that you're a Florida State Seminole fan. Anyway, if you would like to get a VectorVest mug, two ways to get it. One, we're running a giveaway today. You have to type mug in the room. The cutoff will be at 2:45. That's where we will make our decision on who will win the mug. But if you don't win, again, look below this video. You will see a store now where you can purchase your own VectorVest mugs. All right, so I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, which is far from what I normally do, which is right on point. What we're going to do now is we're going to start to get into our stock picks. As we do that, as you look on our screen, you're going to see all of the stocks that we have for you. The theme this month is hot stocks to end the summer strong. So going into what all is going on in the world with the pandemic, you're looking for stocks that you can think about really sinking your teeth into. Do you like that, Steve?
Yeah.
Sink your teeth into, to hold on and to end the summer strong. And folks, I don't think that you will be disappointed by the plays that we have up there for you. And again, you're going to get a culmination of different types of investment styles. So no matter how you invest in the market, you're probably going to find a stock or two that fits you. So every month we have our top 10 stocks or our stock picks for this month. Here they are. We're going to start off with my top 3 picks. I have 3 picks. Steve has 3 picks, and Jim has 4 picks to give you and round off all 10 stocks. So I'm going to highlight the stocks that I'm looking at. I'm looking at EQX, I'm looking at Novavax, and I'm also looking at iClean, or the Global Clean Energy. So my thinking this month for hot stocks to end the summer strong, I wanted to look at some of the industries that were really rocking and rolling. Everybody knows that gold is on the run, all right? Is it getting tired? Well, Steve and do you have a gold pick today?
No.
No, I'm the one. So I'll spend a little bit more time talking about where I see gold going right now. Keep in mind that the dollar going down is going to be a good catalyst to keep gold going higher. Because it tends to be when the dollar goes down, people look for a safe haven, and gold is a place to go, and that's where a lot of people are going. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. I also looked at Novavax. Why? Well, we're in a pandemic. What's the headline news for a lot of what's going on during these times is what stock or what company is going to come up the first with a vaccine, and everybody's rushing to get to a vaccine. Operation Warp Speed is still in full effect, which is a government-sanctioned operation to fast-track vaccines to get to the forefront so that people can start taking them. So I haven't seen companies get to phase 3 training, phase 3 testing this quick ever. But a lot of that goes, again, with Operation Warp Speed. The government is way behind it. And another industry that I'm looking at is clean energy. If you've watched me on YouTube Live every Thursday, clean energy is an industry that's definitely rocking and rolling. I'm going to show you a little twist on how to get in that. Let's start with Equinox Gold. The price $12.27, value $25. As a gold company, it is undervalued, like that. I'm looking at the upside potential on relative value. The stock has got good upside potential as compared to a AAA corporate bond. This stock should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 76% over the next 1 to 3 years. But it does have a safety factor incorporated. Relative safety is below the value of 1. This is a little bit more of an aggressive play. Got good upside potential. The safety is not above 1. But that's okay from an aggressive standpoint. I want good upside potential, willing to take a little risk, and Equinox fits that mold. The stock is definitely in an uptrend. 1.68 on relative timing, this stock is rising. So those of you who are new, relative value looks at a stock's long-term upside potential. Relative safety is an indicator of risk, but it looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. Companies that consistently meet or exceed their earnings expectations are very attractive to investors, thus driving the stock's price higher. But another key indicator is relative timing, the short-term price trend. The stock is above the value of 1. All of those indicators that I just talked about are cast on a scale between 0 and 2, where above 1 is favorable and below 1 is unfavorable. So relative timing tells me the stock is in an uptrend. The CI, or Comfort Index, tells me that this stock pretty much in layman's terms goes up more than it goes down. It's very resilient to pullbacks. The stock is number 2 as far as VST in the list, and I like that they grow their earnings at a clip of 48% in a year. Novavax, one of the few pharmaceuticals out there that are undervalued. Novavax is trading at 179 with a value of 233. Good upside potential with relative safety. Also incorporates a safety factor below 1. This is a little bit more of an aggressive play as well. Definitely in an uptrend with RT at 1.7, growing their earnings at a rate of 30% a year. Good CI, again, a stock that goes up more than it goes down. VectorVest analyzes stocks better than anybody out there to give you useful information instead of just blah, 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 blah data. You have to go get blah, 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 blah data and discern what to do with it. VectorVest gives you the useful information to help you to make the right decision. And my last one is an index or an ETF, an exchange traded fund, to look at the whole clean energy industry. ICLN, because it is an ETF, price and value will remain the same, and RV and RS will also, it's tough to give a relative value and relative safety on an index or a group of stocks traded in ETF. But what's key here is that it is in an uptrend. Not as fast in an uptrend as Novavax and Equinox, but definitely in an uptrend. Buy-rated stocks. The CI not nearly as good as the other two, but this is a good way to look at the clean energy industry in one ticker symbol. All right, let's go look at the graphs. EQX, looking at a 3-month graph. So why do I look at a 3-month graph? I like a 3-month graph because the biggest mover of a stock's price is earnings. So when does earnings happen? Every quarter. I like to look at a 3-month graph to make sure that earnings is in the picture before I make a decision. I also have on here a 20-day exponential moving average. All right, let me scroll down, make sure. That is where's my EMA? There it is. Yes, I have an EMA 20-day exponential moving average, which is serving as a beautiful line of support for the stock as it's been moving higher. Also have support and resistance. When the stock was above the moving average, breaking through resistance, tested it here and moved up higher, then that moving average served as a beautiful level of support. Stock's price is moving higher. RT, the short-term price trend, still above the value of 1, might be pulling back a little bit. Now, could gold be getting tired? Well, I'm looking at the wicks on the candles of the stock. Couple of things here. The stock is still currently above the moving average. The stock is not trading that far away from the high, but if I'm in it, I leave it alone. If I'm not in it, I like that it's above the 20-day exponential moving average. If I want more confirmation, let's see if this stock can take out the most recent high sitting here at a price of $12.65. We're only about 30 cents away from that high right now. I'm looking at today's activity with a big wick at the top of the candle, a little bit of give back, but the candle is still higher than the previous day's close, thus giving us an open candle. So either way, if you're not in it now, you can jump on it. Looking at a 3-month graph from the bottom left to the top right, exactly what you want to see going into the summer, to end out the summer. If you want more confirmation, we are trading. Today's activity was right at that level of the high. It pulled back. I would really like to see it break through. If you own it, if it breaks down below that 20-day exponential moving average, that might be a good opportunity to maybe take half off the table. Because I still think overall gold is going to go up, but we'll take a look. As long as the dollar is going down, there's a lot of stimulus out there as well. So there's a couple of turning cogs in the whole operation, but again, a good looking stock. So now I'm going to let my colleagues take a crack at it, and give you their perspectives on it, starting with Steve Chappell, the director of the Trading Systems Development.
Hey.
There we go. I got it right. I was going to get it right eventually.
Mark your calendar.
Mark your calendar. Wow. Glenn got it right.
Amazing.
Yeah?
Simply amazing.
It's simply. Okay.
All right, no, cool. So I like the pick. Obviously, I have the same belief system. I think that gold inevitably goes higher here. I'll just give you a secondary alternative to buying the stock. I like the idea of buying the new high. I'll give you a whichever happens first scenario. So on the chart, if we can I'll have Glenn go back and find the last time price intersected that 20-period exponential moving average with a tall, unfilled green candle. That's the first one. right there. There's one about another month prior to that.
This one?
Yep. And there's one about a week prior to that. If you find one of those first, I would buy not that day, but the following day on continuation. Even if it ends up being a red day, you're still doing it right. So I would not buy that particular candle, but the one that ensued, the one that followed, providing stock prices go higher. What I typically would do is put the buy stop order at the high for the day and just let the market do its job and get you filled. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Jim?
Yeah, I agree. Anything gold related, I agree with the bullish sentiment on anything gold. I'll just change, I look at it a little differently. Glenn said maybe gold's getting tired. I don't believe that. I think it's just a quick pit stop. And I have no problem buying it right now. On a down day, I know that's a little counterintuitive, but
might end up being the same price anyway.
yeah. I mean, if you're looking,
As waiting for mine,
If your overall outlook and bias is bullish on gold right now, I almost look at it as a buying opportunity.
I
that
concur.
Gold is down a little, just a notch or two.
Nice job, Jim.
That was a nice job, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Nice job, Jim. Jim hasn't left the
Elvis.
building. There you go. Jim hasn't left the building.
I appreciate it.
All
I
right.
really do. Thank you.
My next stock, again, keep in mind that the focus this month is on stocks to end the summer strong, okay? Novavax. So I switched gears, and now I went to coronavirus. If you are a part of the VectorVest family, you know that we have a coronavirus watch list, which was created in Trending Thursday as a way, when the coronavirus first kicked off, as a way to help you to start making money in the coronavirus world. Again, these are tidbits of information that you only get within VectorVest, especially if you're in the software. We've done a special presentation on it. And if you're in Trending Thursday, we've been rocking and rolling with that since early February, actually, folks. So in that list, here's Novavax, one of the stocks that are at the forefront of a vaccine. I love the idea that as a pharmaceutical company, that this stock is an undervalued stock, which is not always found in pharmaceuticals. They put a lot of money into a lot of product and a lot of testing, and many times those stocks are trading over their value. This stock's graph is nicely moving higher over the last 6 months. RT is above the value of 1, steady leveling out, telling you that the stock overall is in an uptrend. All right, not only that, they are growing their earnings, as I mentioned, in double-digit clips. The stock is resilient to pullbacks in this space. So if you are interested in a stock, in an industry that's rocking and rolling because of the fanfare behind a vaccine, this is definitely a stock to look at. Definitely strong going into the summer, end of the summer. Beautifully above the 20-day exponential moving average. If you feel that it's too far away and you want to tighten the stop, you can always tighten it down. Use the down arrows on the moving average. Just turn it down to 10. It's still serving as a beautiful level of support. And guess what? If you use that as a level to get out, it will help you to capture profits earlier. Because of what's going on with coronavirus stocks, I like this stock now as well. If you want more confirmation, it's recently pulling back from the high, which occurred here of 189.40. Right now we're at 178.27. I think that it's, as long as it's above the 20-day moving average, RT is still above 1. And I can add something on here like volume. Let's go see what's going on with volume. Volume's pretty steady. Had a couple of trees along the way, but we're looking at, even on those trees, 20 million shares. Today, the stock is trading at 6,225,155 shares. That's a lot of shares. There's a lot of activity on the stock. Stock is nicely open today, very little wick at the top. But the stock is recently moving back up to the 3-month highs, which happened about 3 days ago. Stock is still trending higher. And I like that it's undervalued. I like the CI, and it's definitely that growth rate. That's interesting. The growth rate on that stock as a pharmaceutical is is really good as a pharmaceutical company. So that's my second pick for strong stocks to end out the summer. Let's see what Steve has to say.
Well, clearly you should have bought that one in March.
Well, I should have. Yep. Way to be way to be an armchair quarterback, Steve. Way to go. Hindsight is 2020, isn't it?
Come on. Yeah, no. It really is another good pick. The one thing I would say about the COVID virus stocks is now's the time to start watching them very carefully, because inevitably we're going to have a winner.
Yep.
And the ones that do not win are going to probably shoot down in price pretty quickly. But they're sitting on a pile of cash. They had huge cash infusions from this whole deal. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll be one of the more resilient ones if in fact they're not the one with the cure. Just know that, guys. We're getting into, when you start getting into now phase 3, I think the easy money is behind us. And it starts to get a little bit more difficult going forward. But I like the stock. I like the move. It is walking a very nice trend line. And this one, I think you can probably buy right now. What do you think, Jim?
I think it always makes me feel smarter when Steve says something that says it much clearer than I would say it, but that I was thinking. And I was looking at the graph, and I don't have a lot of specifics on Novavax, but that idea that Steve just shared had me thinking, as I'm looking at the graph, how might you trade this? And not to get into options or anything, but things like call spreads here,
yes.
Where you can leverage a little bit and have a lot less
and mitigate, yeah,
a lot less exposure to it on some of these front runners. But I agree with Steve. At some point, as Steve put it, there's going to be a winner. I'm not saying Novavax won't be. I don't know, of course.
Yeah.
But you got to use some caution.
They might be the winner.
Yeah.
Hold on. So with that, going to give you a couple other options. XBI.
There you go.
Which is an index ETF of the whole industry. This is on the ETF sector, biotech. That might be a good way. And Steve, to go right along with what Steve said, even if Novavax is not the winner, somebody in this industry is going to be the winner, which will help to drive this industry higher. And I'm going to give you another one. So that's XBI. I like that it's, let's go bring that back up to the 20.
See that little bit of Head and Shoulders brewing up there?
Oh, I can't see a Head and Shoulders. I have that issue. I can't see the Head and Shoulders. Let's go.
You said you need Head and Shoulders.
I don't. Wow, did you say I needed Head and Shoulders?
I didn't say that.
Whoa. I'm going to make this a little darker. Oh, that's on the wrong thing. Actually, I hate you right now. EMA.
You're not going to like me very much, because I think this is even more suspect, or just as suspect, because there's going to be 27 stocks that don't win.
All right. All right, so then I'm going to go one more. There we go. I got LABU, which is another one. That's a 3-time leverage in that. So Steve may be right. I'm saying that as an alternative. Maybe that one stock that does make it might be enough to drive the industry higher.
It might.
But it may not be as well. So I'm going to take that under advisement from the standpoint of somebody's going to win. Do you pick?
I like your first pick.
I do too. But I am also giving you the opportunity to look at the ETF for the whole industry as well.
Yeah.
All right. And my last pick, because I love me some clean energy, baby. Woo-wee. Now, a lot of people still think that, this could be far off. Clean energy is running. I'm looking at companies like Canadian Solar, First Solar, Run. You look at these stocks, they're just slowly but surely, actually quickly and surely, they're running. They are running. I'm watching a lot of mergers and acquisitions of companies, and these companies are growing. The only way that they can grow is if they got the money to go out and buy, and they think that the industry is going to rock and roll. Absolutely. All right, so I'm with that. You ever heard of the phrase, birds of a feather flock together? Well, I'm looking at the industry, and the ticker symbol here is ICLN. It looks at the whole industry. Same kind of scenario with the biotech, that hopefully one of those will help to drive that industry higher if you don't want to invest in one stock. I think that going into the summer or closing out the summer, however you want to look at it, that industry is rocking and rolling. This is a good way to play the industry without a ton of exposure to risk, because you're not looking at an individual stock, you're looking at the whole industry. This is a 6-month graph. I'm looking at a 20-day exponential moving average. I loved when it broke through resistance, came down and tested its support. Put those two together, that came the culmination of a perfect storm. It broke back down to that level of support, but stayed above the 20-day exponential moving average. And look at the stock go. Today is now hitting a new 6-month high. RT is still above the value of 1, or even put it together. The stock's price going above the 20-day moving average along with RT, which again, you'll only find in VectorVest. That could have been a good opportunity to get in as well. I like this industry on YouTube on Thursdays. I've been talking about it. It's a rising industry, and I think it's a good stock to hold going into the summer. Steve?
Redemption.
Okay, I got redemption. Oh, on looking at this one as opposed to XBI. Okay, I got you.
Nothing but good news here. I love the pick. I think it's a very, very good pick. I think clean energy does run all the way into the election, most likely. I almost picked Clean Spark, which is a clean energy stock that just got a big deal in Costa Rica. I love this pick, and that's all I got to say.
There you go. Jim, you got nothing to say? Good. Okay, we'll keep moving on. Go ahead, Jim. By the way, Jim just beat.
I like it, but now I think it's a dumb.
Jim Jim beat me in golf this weekend. By the way, he killed me terribly. So I'm going to put that out there.
I did do that.
Yeah, he did do that.
I also like the pick here as well. I mean, you have an industry that's on the rise. I mean, there's nothing on that chart or in the sector. I like, Glenn, that your 3 picks were all current events, taking advantage of the current landscape of what's going on. So you've got your COVID-19, you had your gold, and now you've got your clean energy. I think it's smart investing. I like it.
On point.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, guys. I'm going to cry a little bit. I'm done. All right. So now we're going to move. Don't forget, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Like what you're seeing today, if you like what's going on so far, and don't forget to comment. Remember, we got a 2:45 cutoff for the mug. I'm going to now bring in Steve Chappell, who's going to talk a little bit about what he does, and then we're going to get into his picks. Steve, it's your floor.
Time for payback.
It's time for pay. Oh, yeah. Payback's up. Boop. Joey, can you cut that out? Okay.
Yeah, it's already cut.
It's already cut.
All right. So we'll start with AGQ.
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
So real quick, guys, my name is Steve Chappell. I've been with VectorVest. It'll be 19 years, October the 4th. That anniversary's coming around. So it's been quite a ride. Been here since, boy, they were just coming off floppy disk, when I started here.
Old.
I mean, we had the old dial-up connections, that
Yep.
AOL and all that stuff. We actually had to program people's modems and things just to get them to be able to connect to our software. So it's just kind of interesting to have been a part of VectorVest for this whole ride. It's been tremendous. And, the good news, I think we'll be here 25 years from now, so all good. So now I guess I'll get to my pick.
Got you.
I've been here since Moses parted the sea.
That's a long time. You've been here when the Grand Canyon was just a crack in the road.
Yeah, I've been here a while.
Okay.
All right, so moving on, we'll start with, we've got AGQ there. So I'm going to go with the silver play this time. As you guys know, if you've been to the hot stock picking panels here over the past, 6 months, actually going back to last year.
Yeah.
I've traditionally had a gold pick. I still think gold goes higher. I really do. Gold's hitting new highs now. I'm moving on to silver. Silver's got only about another 50% to run just to catch prior peaks on silver itself. So I think there might be some more vigilant upside, if you will, some more power move in silver compared to gold at this stage. That's just my own personal take, and really it's just a matter of what I see on the charts from a long while back. Where has gold been before, where has silver been, and where are we now? So in my own portfolios, I've been transitioning. I've still got a bunch of gold, mind you, but I've been transitioning more and more over to silver. This is an aggressive play, but I think, as Glenn alluded to earlier, I don't see any situation where there's not continued quantitative easing, at least at this point. So I'm staying strong with precious metals, just transitioning to silver. This is 3-time leverage fund. So you're not going to get much analysis from VectorVest on RV and RS because it's an exchange-traded fund. And in this case, it's silver, the direct asset. Okay, so it's really just, its performance is going to be reliant on how silver moves as a whole, not the miners or any of that jazz, just the underlying instrument itself, which is great. Anytime there's a plus, there's a minus. So the leverage is tremendous when you get this right. It can also work against you threefold if we get the timing wrong. Certainly all the precious metals have moved a great deal. So this wouldn't be for the faint of heart, but it'd be the way that I would still encourage folks to go. I just think they've got more room to run, guys. I really do. So if you want an alternative, you could go, what is that direct one, Jim? SLV?
SLV, yep.
SLV would be another way to go if you want to take out all the leverage. I just chose the triple leverage because I think we'll be able to capitalize on that. So that was the first pick. Did we go through all of them on the grid first?
Yeah, do that and then we'll go to the graphs.
All right, next one's going to be grow generation. All right, so there's two marijuana stocks that I would be a big proponent of. One is Innovative Industries, which is IIPR. Trades right now at about $117 a share, but has all the upside in the world because it deals primarily with the real estate involved down the line. Obviously, if Democrats take full control over every major office, I think you could see some marijuana legislation in the future. So just like with clean energy, I think you're going to see a pretty good run-up in marijuana-based corporations heading into at least the election, and maybe a giant leap on the back of the election, depending on outcomes. So I think playing something in the space makes sense. I would go either IIPR or, in this case, Grow Generation is what I chose. I realize they're trading a little bit overvalue right now, but as we go through the rest of the columns, first one we come to is RV. That's your upside potential indicator. It looks at whether you're better off longer term on a similar investment, a AAA bond, or here in the particular stock. What this is telling you is they're growing earnings at such a rate that you're traditionally going to be much better off buying this stock. Okay, anything above 1 is good. Anything above 1.4 is excellent. So we're coming in at 145, tremendous number there. If Glenn takes his cursor and goes to the right-hand edge, you'll see why. They're actually turning a profit already, even though they're trading less than $10, and they're growing that at 44% a year. So I think they're making 21 cents on a forecasted basis, but growing it at 44% a year, just a little bit more. I think COVID might put a little bit of a damper on some of their plans, but they are expecting to have 90 stores by 2023. So it's a tremendous high growth story. And what I like about them is they deal with helping you grow the product. So again, it's a lot like IIPR, dealing with the real estate. You're not as pinned down to, is everybody going to be buying my crop? More so, are they going to need, my fertilizers and my hydroponics and my all this to grow an even better crop? So I just think it's a smarter play. I think picking the winner, as we've seen Canopy Growth, we've seen Aurora Cannabis almost go bankrupt, by the way, and they were one of the big 4 leaders just a couple years ago. So I think growers are extremely volatile and extremely risky. I think I'd play broad market here, and I'd go with something like Grow Generation. And one thing in VectorVest you can always do, guys, is right click and you can view stock analysis report and learn a little bit about this companies this way. Here it says, Grow Generation Corp engages in the retail of hydroponic and organic specialty gardening products. It offers lighting fixtures, nutrients, seeds, growing media systems, trays, fans, filters, humidifiers, dehumidifiers, timers, instruments, water pumps, irrigation supplies, and hand tools.
That's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff to grow some weed. Just put it in the ground and grow it. What you gotta do? Just put it in, water it.
Is there anything that they don't sell?
Just water it. And let it grow. Okay.
Yeah, so I've actually seen some good things here. Above and beyond that, I always like to do some additional research, but that gives you a pretty good sense of what they do anyway. Anyway, I like to pick a good bit. And if I was going to play marijuana, again, it would be IIPR or GRWG for sure. And then finally, that brings us to Sorrento. best trade in the Jockey Club, at least this month, maybe. Although, Glenn, you had a big one.
That was a couple months ago, last month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We made 77% on this trade. It's done so well, guys, that this pick, unfortunately, I've already closed my position. But it's only because we got in last week. So I still think there's tremendous opportunity here, and I'm going to go into why. Let's go through the numbers first, then I'll give you the backstory here as well. And the backstory's good. But you got a $19 price tag now. I think we got in at around 11 last week. If you look at the price change today, it is up 33. This is the hot stock picking panel after all.
Yep.
This sucker's super hot, Glenn.
Woo!
Smoking hot.
Wow! Smoking!
And in fact, I think it's getting back towards highs for the day. Anyway, relative value, it does have some fundamental, for a biomed that's kind of story related, it does have some fundamentals to it. It is aggressive, and Glenn laid that out earlier. Anytime your relative safety is below 1, you're dealing with a more aggressive play. Relative timing is super strong at 182. This thing's flying, guys. I mean, just flying. And of course, they've got earnings and they've got some real growth to go with it. So in the space, it's actually a pretty good play just based on fundamentals alone. Then you throw in the backstory. So here's the backstory, and here's where it gets good for me. Has anybody seen those probes that they test people for COVID with that looks like they're going to tickle your brain with it?
Yeah.
Looks very
Yeah.
painful.
I've been through that.
That's the last thing I think I want to do is go have somebody stick one of those things
And
up
tickle
both
your
nostrils.
brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to do that.
Me neither.
What Sorrento has done, guys, they've created a test that is portable, and it can go to point of contact, or it can go to your house. It's saliva based, and you literally are just going to gather some saliva, put it in a vial, and you'll have your own result in 30 minutes. And it's easy enough that they tell me they're going to have a dummy book on it. You know, dummies can do this just as good as anybody.
You're good to go, my friend.
So no,
I'm sorry, that was a softball he threw.
I tried to give you something to get me back.
Oh, no, that's all right.
No, but real talk, I mean, just going back to that, when you think about that, I think that's why they're flying, guys. I think that's why they're flying. And Sorrento is not a fly-by-night company. They've been around a long while. In fact, Jerry D'Ambrosio had a trade several years ago where we made 246% on Sorrento. 246% on a single trade. Okay, so this is a company that's been in the news before, does have a big following, does like to go on tremendous runs. Not only do they have that nice testing, they also are working on a preventative that actually boosts the immune system, something that could be, that they feel could have merit even if the COVID virus continues to mutate. Of course, I heard from Iceland, if you believe all the studies and things, but this thing's already mutated some 200 times or something like that. But, with all the news that's out there, it's hard to know what to believe anymore. So I wouldn't put too much stock in what I just said, but their belief anyway is they're onto something that even if this thing mutates, that they feel could create antibodies within our immune system that could help to fend off the virus in the future. So they got a couple of things going. They've got the testing. They've also got a potential preventative, not a cure, but a preventative. And so we want to look at the charts, or you guys want to?
No, let's go look at the charts.
All right, let's look at the charts. So we'll start with silver.
Yep.
Excellent. So this is a look at the silver. Obviously, it's on a pretty strong trend right now. It did hit a new high today. And I'm going to go back to what Jim said earlier. To me, I'm not going to get too cute here. You're getting a fairly decent price right now on today's action. Could this thing pull down a few dollars before it goes higher? Yes. It is triple leverage, so it's even more susceptible. The thing you got to be careful about with the triple leverage is if silver just even goes sideways, the triple leverage can actually fall on you a good bit because there's no movement in the underlying. So you need to be careful, and if that worries you at all, go with the SLV. Okay? And then go ahead, guys.
I like the pick. I like the idea of precious metals. Probably still is a really good way to go. I like the idea of, diversifying, moving over to silver. Gold is still doing its thing, but silver is. I like the 50% of its highs, tells you that silver within the precious metal field has got a lot of room still to go.
Yeah, actually, drag that back, Glenn. Do like 5 years or something.
5 years?
Maybe 10.
10?
Yeah. It's got a lot of room to go.
Good gravy. That's got a lot of room to go.
Now, that's triple leverage, so it's not really to silver scale, but
Wow.
it's trading about half, guys, about half of what it has.
And even looking at the last year, that's a big move. And the dollar going down, gold going up, silver, precious metals, this is a good pick. Jim?
Yeah, same as gold here. Like Steve said, I mean, the narrative isn't going to, in my opinion, isn't going to change anytime soon. So just another way to play the precious metals. Glenn, type in SIL real quick.
Sure.
I know we've talked about SLV, but it was one I was looking at earlier.
Global silver.
Right. So that's another one. I don't know if that's triple leveraged or not. I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
But that's just another one that I was actually looking at earlier. I just wasn't sure. But the idea is the same as gold. I mean, as Glenn said, the dollar is going to devalue. It's got a long way to move, a long way to go.
How about 3 picks, and we've given you 3 ETFs to look at as well. So
Sign of the times.
That's some hotness right there.
There's another one on the way.
There's some hotness right there. All right, you ready to go to your next stop?
Yeah, sure.
All right, GRWG.
All right, quick and painless here. It's a growth story. So on the bottom we have growth rate actually, and you can see growth rate is continuing to step higher even in the midst of the pandemic that we're in. That's of course an aggregate number from all of the Thomson Reuters, probably thousands of analysts that cover the stock. Well, on Grow Generation, let's just say hundreds at least. Thousands on something like an Apple, for example. But it gives you a good idea on where they're headed to. So I think that helps propel the stock higher. Plus, just it's got good numbers in VectorVest, and for the reasons mentioned earlier, I think heading into the election, there's going to be some growth in the marijuana space. Go ahead.
I think that as a marijuana stock, to find a stock like this with the earnings growth rate is so important. As Steve alluded to, our earnings is forecasted. I don't know if he did or not. We're going to talk about it now. It's forecasted 12 months out. So why is that helpful to go see what it should look like by this time next year? Earnings is a beautiful thing, but earnings growth is even more beautifuler. And that's a Glennism. Listen, good or beautiful or don't care. That's a great stock in this space that everybody still calls speculative.
Yeah.
Everybody still says, hey, blah, blah, blah. Listen, that's a good pick as a strong candidate to hold going into the summer. That's all I got to say about that. That graphic in and of itself is a good graphic. Jim?
Yeah, I like the idea that it's not, Steve alluded to some of the other marijuana stocks, and that it's not an actual grower, but will assist all of those companies in what they do. So I like that risk is kind of taken away from somebody who used to own Kronos and lost a few bucks.
Yeah.
I like that idea behind the stock.
Everybody out there, raise your hand if you knew that it takes all of that to grow some weed. When we read the analysis report on everything that they do, take it, put it in the ground, throw some water on it, walk away.
I think they do more than just marijuana.
What else they growing? You grow some poppy?
Plants, man.
I mean, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
If we're going down the
sunflowers.
You can't grow no cocaine.
I think tomatoes.
I'm just asking. All right. Anyway, I just got way off track there. Huh? Reel it in. Okay, reel it in now. All right.
Well, like Heidi's been growing watermelons.
What are you going to say? Heidi's been growing.
We might go to the Grow Generation and get some hydroponics for our watermelon.
Okay.
I need humidifiers for my tomatoes.
You need humidifiers. All right. Listen, that's all I got to say about that. Let's get to this hot stock right here.
What I need is a pellet gun to keep the squirrels from eating the watermelon.
Listen, I ain't getting into none of this
all
stuff.
Right, now, all right, so this is Sorrento. So Sorrento is just a fun, we talked about the story. This is the graph. The one thing I wanted to put there's two things. One is the value. So it's actually still trading I'd say it's fully valued at this point.
I agree.
Okay. Now the story though is kind of on the bottom with earnings. So you're in a situation here where it's tremendous growth again, and bulk of it coming here recently. they should really be hitting their stride about July of next year, with or without this whole COVID thing that we talked about. So I think honestly, in terms of the space, we're going to need testing until there is a cure.
Yeah. Even well, I don't know that it'll ever be a cure, but you're going to need testing when a vaccine comes.
Yep.
That was going to be my comment. Is that this is the kind of thing that doesn't go away. You're always
Right.
going to need to be tested for it. So.
Right. I'd much rather do the saliva test. So I hope this thing works.
You know something, in that industry, I had to take the COVID test. Came back negative, by the way. But
Oh wow, what was it like?
it sucked. Let me tell you, the nurse that did it said two things. She says, "Don't move your head because I don't want to do it again." And the second thing was, "Don't hit me."
Yeah.
That test is no joke. When they,
Yeah.
I think they hit my frontal lobe thing, whatever it is, the lobe thing.
Frontal lobe.
Yeah,
frontal
that.
lobe.
That thing is no joke. I'm
They
just
might,
saying.
they might have given you a lobotomy.
You know something? I'm going to go buy SRNE just because I don't want to go through that crap again.
got another
I'd rather
lobotomy.
just take some
Second.
saliva and go with it. I'm going to buy SRNE because I never want to go through that again. All right. So actually in this...
We're going to be showing this one at the Christmas party.
Yeah, probably. Along with the hydroponics and all that. Guess what, folks? You guys got two stocks in that industry, that whole COVID-19 industry, to really keep in mind going into the close of the summer. All right, so who knows how much it takes to grow weed? I can't get over that.
Yeah.
All right. It's up to you now, Jim Penna. Tell them a little bit about yourself before you get started, sir.
Okay, my name's Jim Penna. I am the manager of retirement services here at VectorVest, and while I am older than both of these gentlemen,
Probably put together.
I've been here for about 14 years now, and so it's been a great ride. It's funny because as manager of retirement services now, I actually came from working on trading desks, and we were laughing about it earlier. I have a much more speculative streak in me than some of the stocks you'll see me pick here, but that's my own personal assets, not my VectorVest portfolios. But it's great to be here. These are always fun panels, and doing it with two good friends is always fun. I did crush Glenn in golf. He did hit one drive farther than I did.
About 280
Yeah,
yards.
he caught one where I played a little bit too much fade, and he got me by a few yards. But
Guys, Jim hit an eagle when I played with him last week. This guy's on fire.
He is. Don't play golf with him right now.
He'll take your money.
He'll take your money.
All right, let's go.
anyway, it's great to be here. So I actually have 4 picks out of this. I was chosen to have 4, but that's okay because one of them is going to be kind of along the gold silver line. We'll start at the top. Universal UFPI is the top stock. This is a company that I have owned, that we own in our model portfolios in our coaching group. And if you just slide right over to the RS column, you'll see why. Relative safety at 1.42, excellent on that 0 to 2 scale. Decent relative value number, earnings growth rate is strong, and they pay a dividend. So I like the company. When we go to the graph, you'll see that it's been a nice run. The comfort index is not quite where I'd like it to be, especially for a high RS stock, but a good company. Pays. Glenn, slide over a little bit to the right. We'll get some dividend information there. Not a huge yield though, but it's safe and it's growing. And so we'll see more when we see the graph. But Universal Forest Products I like a lot. My other choice was Global Copper. Is the SIL that I showed was the Global X Silver. I chose copper. Why? Because we already have a gold and a silver. So I chose copper as just another one, a lower price, another same reason, same narrative, with $1 down and commodities and metals moving up. It's just one that will, I believe, have its run. It's already having it with an RT at 1.74. So I just thought I'd throw that in there to let you know you got your gold, your silver, and your bronze metal or your copper metal. So I'm coming in third on this one, but I chose that one again, just to same narrative, but another vehicle to do it with. Next is ABBV. It is in the biotech industry, but it has nothing to do in this particular biotech with COVID. So another good quality stock. I'll go through some of the numbers. I made sure I wrote them down so I don't get any of them wrong Just another good high-RS stock, pays a dividend, good earnings growth rate, pays a very strong dividend. The yield is blowing away other companies within that industry, like Eli Lilly or Merck or Pfizer. It's got right now over a 5% dividend yield, paying $4.72. So, again, with both capital appreciation and dividend and income in mind, I think it's a great stock. When we look at the graph, you're going to say, why are you looking at this now? But I just think it's a good time to buy. I won't use the phrase bottom fish, but because it's not that kind of stock, but it's at some support right now, even though it's down a bit. So another great stock I like a lot. And then finally, I'll go back to what I've talked about on these panels before. Listen, I don't want to get too far into the whole market climate. I strongly urge you to go in every Friday, look at the market climate graph, look at the market climate section and read through that. It's not necessary. We're in a, what is it?
Case 8?
Case 8, bear market scenario, where earnings and interest rates are falling and inflation is rising. That's a case 8 bear market scenario. Dr. D taught me a long time ago, and that those bear market and bull market scenarios are not necessarily market timing indicators, but it's good macro information to have. And when you tell me that interest rates and earnings are falling, here is a great place to go long, to get paid a nice dividend. And you'll see the chart, and you'll see since the low, the XLU it's a safer play, right? It's not as hot as some of the other stocks we're looking at. But again, I'd like to bring a little different perspective or nuance to what I consider a hot stock here. So I think those are all 4 of my picks, Glenn. And we can take a quick look at the graph, and you guys can comment, but doesn't matter which one we start with. So UFPI is fine. So UFPI, again, this is, I believe, a 1-year graph we're looking at, or actually a 3-month graph. So earnings, again, projections, you could bring it out to a year. A little choppy on the earnings for a 1 year, but the estimates are growing. Earnings are strong, and I've got a nice graph pattern from that low and a good, strong, high RS stock. So this just fits into the type of stock. When I run my searches, when we're looking for candidates for our retirement model portfolios, UFPI always comes up. Another great stock. You can sell covered calls against stock like this, generate even more income against that dividend yield. So just a good quality stock, some dividends, some capital appreciation there. Not super speculative, but I love the graph pattern. Hitting new high today. Buy rated stock.
Couple of things. That industry, building, is another hot industry right now. Well, it's a hot sector, and the industries within that sector are hot. So something that I'm probably going to cover in Trending Thursday this week. Also notice that because he's taking that longer term view at these stocks, notice that this is a 40-day moving average as opposed to a 20-day moving average, which I think serves the purpose, gives the stock a little bit more room to the downside as opposed to the stocks that Steve and I picked today. Right in line. Always understand when you look at a graph, make sure you're looking at a graph that fits the stock. All right, and the way Jim set this up is ideally set for this stock using that 40-day, and love that the earnings is rising. Good pick.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they had a major surprise, on earnings.
They did,
which
yes.
is really no surprise to us.
Right, and you know what the great thing about that was is that they actually beat expectations. The expectation was that they might have some trouble. Had great earnings, great forecasted earnings on top of that. So that, I'm sorry, I did leave that out. Thanks for reminding me.
No, it's fine.
Now it's on the graph for you.
Yeah, that earnings, which Glenn just added there, I forgot to mention. So a recent, very positive surprise on earnings was another reason.
Yeah, they were cooking coming into COVID. And then surprise.
Hello.
Awesome. No, I like it. Buy it.
All right, you ready for your next one, buddy?
Yeah.
Let's go back to ABBV and finish up that way. Okay.
ABBV is, again, in the drug industry, biomedical, not really biotech per se. And you might look at that graph and say, what are you doing? Now, I'm not somebody who's I use support and resistance for my technical indicators generally. But I was looking at the stock and trying to rationalize why I'd come to a hot stock panel and put that up there. But again, you've got a good quality stock. This stock is up, let me get some of the numbers right, 46% since the March low, I believe, if we've gone back that far. What do we have there?
There you go.
So it's also up.
That's a lot of move, bro.
I'm sorry, 30% since March 23rd, 45% over the last year. And I added stochastics to it because to look at this, again, and if you're looking at an oversold stock, you've had that crossover. I guess you kind of want to see it above 20. Steve, you know better than me, but
not
if you
me,
zoom in
just
a little
Steve. Okay.
if you zoom in a little bit there, you'll see that kind of that crossover came on stochastics, so indicating an oversold condition. So plus I can self-impose some support there. But I know it's a good quality company, and I know they had Humira is their big drug, and their patent on it was winding down, but they were smart. They went out and they bought Allergan. So,
oh wow,
you know, so they've got a lot of products still, even though that happened. And by the way, this is also again with that great dividend. I think it's over a 5% yield right now on the dividend. If I'm not mistaken.
You want dividend yield?
Just the dividend, or either one, yeah.
I'll give you yield.
Yeah, go yield. I can't see it from back here.
The dividend yield is at 5.11 and rising.
You've got over a 5% yield. And then just one last a box to check off on this. It is what's called the Dividend Aristocrat. It's grown it's on the S&P 500, and it not only has paid, but grown its dividends every year for over 25 years. And so a lot of reasons, again, yes, I understand that it's a more prudent investment right now, but I like where it is on price-wise because I'm confident in the underlying company. So I think it's a good time to buy it.
Yeah.
All right. Going back to what Jim originally said, which I liked, the stock is, I'm going to take dividend off. The stock is in oversold territory because it's below the value of 20 on the stochastics. And then, put this on 3-month graph, the percentage K just crossed above the percentage D, which is a good indication. Confirmation of the upward move would be once it gets out of the territory of being oversold. So I do like that as it's gone down. And Jim's right, this company's been around a long time. It's just taking a breather. But that could be a good early entry with the percentage K going above the percentage D. If you want more confirmation, wait till it gets out of the oversold territory. But I think that's a good stock to consider as soon as let the stock come to you. I say that a lot. Let the stock come to you.
I think there's both income and capital appreciation.
And that's already built in, as you mentioned. That's absolutely right.
All right. If you are impatient and don't want to let the stock come to you, sell the put. Sell the at-the-money 45-day put, optimal rate of theta decay. I would be willing to bet, just looking at the chart, it's always good to have an option chain in front of you, but I would be willing to bet that the implied's running still pretty good there.
I'm looking at just eyeballing it.
Yeah, you can sell whatever that, no, I can't see the number, but
that's at 90.
Sell those puts?
Yeah.
That's right at 90. That's a good level of support.
The implied's probably drying up a little bit over the last 2 days,
Yeah,
but it should actually still, you should get some juice. Probably get some juice in the put.
Like we do in our coaching group every Tuesday. I think it's a great covered call candidate as well. Again, you're right. I'd have to have the option chains in front of me, but I know I've sold covered calls against this as well. Another good covered call candidate.
Good pick.
I agree.
Yeah, again, a little more boring than some, but
and just real quick,
a good company.
There was another stock that you had in here with ABBV.
Well, I threw T. Rowe Price in there. It's a totally different industry, but it was kind of the same idea of a dividend aristocrat where there is capital appreciation potential as well as a safe growing dividend. So, you know, the longer term on the stock, again, this has grown its dividend for over 25 years. A company I think I might have talked about on this panel before. Again, a nice run since the March 23rd bottom, and overall a nice move on the stock. So under the same umbrella, different industry, but same idea, capital appreciation, good, safe, steady income. Again, another great covered call candidate. So the type of stocks, a hot stock for you retirement-minded investors.
Hot retirement.
Hot retirement.
Hot
Man,
retirement.
is that like James Brown? Hot pants. All right, maybe not. All right, let's go to your next stock. I don't know where that came from. You don't want to know what's in my mind half the time.
No, we don't.
Let's go to XLU.
Little Richard's coming.
Little Richard's. Here we go. All right, XLU.
XLU again, looking at the chart and hearkening back to the climate graph where you've got earnings falling, you've got interest rates falling. There's not a lot of yield out there. Okay, again, and here there's capital appreciation potential here as well. It's not just a buy and hold sideways move here, although you do get a nice dividend yield. I don't have, how long is that graph, Glenn, that you got it there?
3 months.
Try a 1 year graph on it.
1 year.
Yeah, so you got hit like everything. Every graph we look at has that pattern in it, but a nice move from the bottom, and I just think a good place to be given the climate, the macro view of where the market's at. I think a great place to be.
I like the stocks that Jim brings to the table. Because again, even though this is a hot stock panel, Jim always brings that retirement-minded perspective, which I think is awesome, because we don't just have aggressive traders in this segment. All kinds of investors, and I always love the stocks, the alternatives to what's going on in the market to help those retirement-minded people. So I wanted to just say that. That's a good pick, but I thank you for that.
My pleasure. I do have to say one thing. These are all kind of longer term stocks, but there is one speculative stock that I like, and I know Steve's familiar with this stock. It's EXROF is one. It's involved in the electrical engines and electrical parts for things like that. I think Steve actually knows more about this company than I do, but I think this is a kind of like the clean energy idea, where it's a trend, and you may see now this is speculative. Please don't put this in your retirement account because I'm telling you to do this.
It's 80 cents.
But it's the idea that we're looking at the same idea of clean energy, of electric vehicles and things like that.
Yeah. So real quick, guys. This is an interesting pick. I've almost picked it before myself, and it's because of the potential that it does have. A little bit about the company. They're about a $20-25 million a year company out of Canada. Got any Canadians out there?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Now, they just brought over a big wig from GE Motors. Big sales guy from GE has made his way into the fold now. To me, that already speaks volumes. And they're the first company to actually reinvent the electric motor. You know, we've been essentially using the same electric motor now for, I think, close to 100, if not more than 100 years. And the way I would think about it is like the gearing mechanism on a 10-speed bike. You know, you can, if Glenn doesn't have any gears and I've got gears, who's going to be able to go 20 miles more efficiently? The guy that's pedaling like crazy the whole 20 miles, that's the current electric motor, or this new motor that has an efficiency gearing system in it that allows it not only to be more effective in terms of output, but also more cost effective in terms of efficiency. So you get kind of the best of both worlds. You get optimal power and at a reduced cost. Could be with all the electric cars and trucks, and listen, the Hoover Dam runs on electric motors, okay? Lots of things do. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So talk about going 180 degrees. If you don't want to buy UFPI, you can go this route.
Wow. I own some of it. Just, I do.
Yeah. It's, I like the story. I love the story.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the last stock, COPEX.
Yeah, the last one, as I already said, there's not a whole lot of analysis to go in here other than Because we already had the gold and the silver talked about, I believe it's one that may kind of follow suit. Love the pattern on the graph. Again, unless I'm day trading it, and even then, I'm not as put off by the fact that, okay, it hit its high 2 days ago. If I like the idea, if I like the idea of a weak dollar and strong silver, gold, and add copper to that, I look at it as a buying opportunity. Now, do I want to see it moving up when I buy it? Of course I do, but I like the idea that it's pulled back a bit. And if I'm buying into the idea behind it, I'm not going to wait for a new high to buy it. That's just the way I look at it. But so that was really just added into the whole narrative of what we talked about with gold and silver.
I like that we covered all the precious metals. Gold, silver, and copper.
We got them covered.
We got them all covered.
I came in with the bronze medal.
And the bronze medal.
It's a conductor.
Oh, Lord. Just anyway.
It's a conductor. That's very important. Very
on the train.
It's very important.
Anyway, I like the idea that as a panel, we covered all of the precious metals and gave you opportunities of
Hey,
stocks.
Glenn, one more thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, stop talking for a minute.
Okay.
One more thing I just want to comment on. Now, I talked a little bit about selling covered calls against some of these stocks. Steve brought up the idea of selling puts or buying protective puts, married puts or whatever you want to call it on some of these stocks. Talked about dividends. I just wanted to say real quick, next week, I'll be presenting webinars on next Wednesday and Thursday. And Glenn, if you could bring up that site, that website there is vectorvest.com/web URS. It's vectorvest.com/web URS. And I would love if you join me. The 3 strategies to protect and grow your retirement nest egg. 3 core strategies we believe every retiree must know or be able to implement so they can retire with a peace of mind, because we're going to show you how to grow your portfolio through capital appreciation, how to generate safe, steady income, and most importantly, in my opinion, is capital preservation, being able to protect your net worth. So we go through that. I'll talk about it in those webcasts. Go to that site, and I'd love for you to join me for those webcasts next week.
Outstanding. All right. Hey, Joey, do we have a winner?
Norm Dyke. N-O-R-M-D-Y.
No.
Norm Dyke.
Cheers.
Norm!
Look it up.
All right, so Norm
Look it up.
Dyke has won the mug.
Look it up.
All right, and if you were unfortunately not a winner of the mug, you can definitely go below this video, click on our store, and you can purchase your own mug. If you have not already, if you're not already a subscriber to the software, Joey, can you type the link in there again? A great way to take advantage of a 30-day trial to the VectorVest software for 99 cents. Joey's giving you a link. Click on that link. You can sign up for a 30-day trial. Again, last but not least, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. All right, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you come to watch when we have new content to give you. Hit the bell icon. Hopefully you hit the likes today. Joey, how many likes did we get today?
97.
Huh?
97.
Really, 97. With all of the people here from VV Nation, I got 97 views. All right, before we go, I want 150 views. Ready, set,
Likes.
go. Huh?
Likes.
Likes. What did I say?
Views.
Views. Likes. I want about 150 likes. Make it happen, please. All right, but if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and, of course, comment. Trending Thursdays, every Thursday here on YouTube. Again, I take you through stocks that are making the news. We use the power of the VectorVest software to help us to make decisions, but we cover all of the major things that are happening in the news. If you know someone that would enjoy this panel, please share this link with everybody on your social media. You may not know how many people are interested in the stock market, and you could be giving them away to learn more about the stock market. Folks, we love doing this every month, and I love the panel of people that we bring together. It's always different people, except for me. I'm the only stale one, but we always bring different people, different ideas. Some people are more aggressive. Some people, like Jim, are more conservative. Steve and I are, I guess, progressive. I like that, progressive, prudently aggressive. So we can accommodate everybody that's out there. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. We appreciate it as a company. Help us to support the channel. You guys have a great day. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, salem, shalom, namaste, peace.